30 days in a row, one game digitally played. Why the heck is this game crashing again? But yeah, after doing the review on Unmatched Volume 1, I got a lot of comments talking about how I should try the other characters. So why not just put myself in the lab and grind out a ton of sessions of Unmatched? Let's see what happens. What? Day 4. Don't read my screen. I've been doing this for 13 days. 13 days. 1-3. It's like day 15, 16, something like that. It's time for a game of Unmatched. I said I would do it. Unfortunately, no one wanted to play online when I tried, so this was against AI, but hard AI is freaking bogus. I have a lot to say about it. Here are the rules. I have to play at least one game every day, try every hero I haven't played before at least 3 times, and write down all my thoughts. If I was playing Unmatched in person, I'd probably be playing on today's sponsor, the Origins table. This is a sturdy piece of furniture with a vaulted arena, framed by huge chunky rails. You can put game pieces inside the chip trays of the rail. I mean, the table fits TI4 with the Prophecy of King expansion, so what else do you really need? Go ahead and use our code SHELFSIDE to get a free customized play surface for your Origins worth $200. But let's back up, Ashton. Are you freaking crazy? Why are you playing Unmatched 30 days in a row when you rated it a 5 out of 10 personally, which means average? Well, to clarify, average is not bad. I'm just okay with playing the game. It's suitable for a game experience. Okay, so here are my reasons. 1, the asymmetry means that I won't really get bored, so I went ahead and bought all the DLC at the time to get me up to 10 characters I was mixing and matching against each other. 2, I suspect Unmatched should be called Unbalanced, cause gosh, Volume 1 was really unbalanced. And when I read online, many also had continual complaints on matchups. Number 3, Unmatched is rather short at about 20 to 30 minutes in real life, so digitally against a bot should be about half the time. Number 4, Unmatched is a really popular game with even a tournament scene at a local game store, so I'm curious to delve in more, and I'm sure that regardless of your familiarity with Unmatched, you'll get something out of my Unmatched marathon. The app. The digital app on Steam is good, except for when it was crashing against hard AI. But that was patched over at about day 22 of the marathon. I'm imagining that the AI was getting overwhelmed when there's a ton of cards in its hand and it's asked to play a defend for itself or do a tricky type of movement. But voice clips for each of the characters, drawing animations, and sound effects are really on point.
I was dead already.
You can easily see each character's abilities at a glance, nothing is confusing about the UI, and you can even look through your opponent's entire deck list and discard during the game, which is so much information I regard it as slightly cheating, so I didn't reference it much. And also, I just turned the music way down because geez, it felt way too hyped for me to hear constantly during my grind. The results. Unmatched isn't my first rodeo with this 30-day marathon. I also did the same for Agricola, and reflecting off of that experience, I decided to carefully document all my data, so here it is. Games were between 5 to 27 minutes, average of 12.2 minutes. The time definitely started trending down because you just know what characters can do. Easy AI win rate, 1 out of 2, 50%. Medium AI win rate, 6 out of 7, 85%. Hard AI win rate, 5 out of 16, 31%. That's not 30 matches because sometimes the game would just crash. But anyways, as you can tell, I ended up playing against hard AI the most because easy AI just felt like they were completely wasting actions and the medium AI was wasting actions but slightly less. So I just played against the hard AI, and here's my accusation. It is utter bogus and was the villain of my 30-day marathon. It's not just a level higher than playing against medium AI, it's like the AI can perfectly read all your intentions and your hand and play the perfect card for every single combat. Since Unmatched is a game that revolves around the mechanic of playing secret face-down cards for each attack, if your opponent can perfectly match all your numbers or negate all your pivotal attacking or defending abilities, they're gonna come out ahead. This is actually where I'm gonna recommend to not marathon Unmatched Digital like I did, because the strength of the game lies in the mind game of attacking each other, sitting across the table to suss out what the other is doing. In Digital, it's just clicking a card and having the bot react right away, which takes away some of the tension. Digital is just good to understand all the cards, then move on to play in person. Back to the hard AI, it just plays really well. It seems to sense when you don't have any defending cards, and the bot would know whether or not you have any, so I'm not sure if it's cheating. But yeah, it will hit you hard with big attacks if you slightly miss position. Whereas in person, if you were to do that, it could be seen as a bait. So I don't have the biggest sample size, but there's a lot of weirdness going on with these two characters to back up their winning. These have combat cards that are definitely overtuned compared to the other characters. See Medusa getting to constantly discard from her opponent's hand, and Bigfoot having a bunch of these attack 6 cards. I covered Medusa a lot in my original review, so more info on Bigfoot. His passive to draw at the end of his turn, if not in the same zone as anyone else, is ridiculous. It essentially means that if he moves as his last action, he's drawing 2 cards. And you can't box him in because he has tons of move through enemy cards. And then he has a base movement of 3 as opposed to everyone else's 2. There were so many games I thought I had him on the ropes, for him to just run away, then quickly build up his hand advantage again, then smack me with one of his big attacks. King Arthur also still feels pretty weak and was my go-to punching bag if I ever felt like I wanted to destroy the hard AI to relieve some stress. But again, with the hard AI, they really know how to have the perfect cards, so you may feel like you have a health advantage, then bam, huge Excalibur attack perfectly timed again. Thoughts on Unmatched? Unmatched is definitely still a 7 out of 10 board game. A good game when trying to recommend it to people for what the game is. A lot of the fun definitely exists in experimenting with your character's deck and trying to counterplay the others. This all gets better the more characters you add in, and I found that I was continually curious to see how characters matched up against each other, and I had 10 different characters. However, the imbalance is a ridiculous reality, so I either suggest A, just playing 2 characters yourself or team up with a friend, or B, reading up online on what matchups just don't work. As for maps, I got to play with all these included ones, just picked at random, and I felt like they don't really change the game that much. Positioning still feels like a game of playing around colors with no points of interest, so you tend to really forget the thematic map nods are trying to do. But there was a map with trapdoors I did actually find to be worth strategizing around. I recommend that one, again not sure if it messes with matchup balance. Also, any ability that lets you start discarding cards from your opponent's hand randomly does not feel okay in this game, since hand advantage is so king. Randomly getting to discard your opponent's trump cards is game shattering. It's really when you notice there's a sizable card advantage and your opponent isn't playing some drawing machine like Bigfoot, you can just try to pincer them ASAP and do maximum damage when they're running out of defensive options. The value proposition though for Unmatched feels a little weird at MSRP though. It's $10 per character, and yes, you have a unique deck and the cool mini that comes along with it, but the game is just not balanced. You have to do your due diligence in setting up the correct matchups, which really makes me curious to see how tournaments are like. Maybe I'll join one day. I mean, yeah, I can see why people are going hard into this game with a cool card variety, like every sidekick having their own usage to position around, or Little Red, who has cards that scale off of the top of your discard, which adds another layer of management and mind games, or Dracula, who can damage his own sidekicks to give him health and draw a card. Then you unload those cards late game for Werewolf mode. I even got to do double-digit damage with them once. The more I played too, the more deck management became a noticeable factor. I've had so many matches that went to late game where players start running out of their deck. This is a clever way of punishing overdrawing and playing too safe early in the game, since they and their sidekick take damage when trying to draw from an empty deck. This mechanic prevents games from dragging, but can possibly be too punishing late game, since to move, you have to draw a card first, potentially nuking all your sidekicks. However, on day 28, I had an awesome match where I thought I was going to lose by decking out, as that did tons of damage to me, but then I won by the skin of my teeth, winning with 0 cards left in my deck, man. While that specific sudden death feeling is a 8 out of 10 exhilaration of winning, for the most part, my personal enjoyment of Imbalance is pretty much unchanged. I have an average enjoyment playing it. Playing on digital greases a lot of the experience to set up and take down in seconds, so I feel no hesitation in starting a 15-minute game. And then I can just see what matchups I bash together and test how unbalanced the game is. And to actually win against the bogus AI, I had to fight for every single inch. And it was there I had the fun realization that winning as a defender is mechanically easier than winning as an attacker, since the defender can just match the number and win. So yeah, that's fun to think about, but a match still doesn't feel like a great fit for me in the long run. It really does feel too simple that drawing is attached to moving, and you only get 2 actions a turn, so there's not really any big combos you can do. In fact, there seems to be an element of additional management missing. This was somewhat satiated with Beowulf's rage gaining and spending, and really taken care of Little Red, which was fun to puzzle around and how to stack my discard, kinda felt like a trading card game. Oh yeah, Sherlock is also cool to keep manipulating your opponent's hand, but I seem to really suck with him against the hard AI. I can't even come close to a win. Huh? The game could also potentially benefit from another action besides just attack, play yellow cards, or draw/move. Like maybe give characters unique abilities they can do as an action, or have some cards be like passives to play around with each other, or let players interact with the board more. I've played about 40 games when I combine the digital games with my in-person games, and I could only see my score actually going up with more complicated characters or some more balanced matchups. So yeah, even though I was suggesting all these little tweaks that the game could have throughout the video, I can see why this game is totally up people's alley, why it's their jam, and how tournaments do have a lot of attendance. Now I have more of the know-how about the Unmatched popularity, and I hope this helped you. Let me know what you think. It's the second to last day of doing this challenge. I guess time flies when you're having fun. I'm honestly surprised how fast this went. Thanks for watching all the way to the very end. Yes, it was finally done. 30 days. It actually went by pretty fast. Anyways, thank you to all our patrons right here for making these crazy endeavors like this possible. Maybe I'll do another one in the future with a different game. The asymmetric games really do help with that replayability. And then we got our Madlands of Cardboard right here. Yeah. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, really helps us out. Check out our Patreon. Yeah, bye-bye.